Hey guys, this is Luke on Sean's channel. Sean's still with me though.
Hello.
Today I'm going to be showcasing my Prank Kids deck. It's a little different than what most of the other Prank Kids decks are now, but I still think it's strong enough, and here's the profile. Okay, to start off, we have the 3 copies of Dropsies, 3 copies of Lampsies, 3 copies of Fansies, and 3 copies of Rocksies. I run 3 of each of these prank kids. I know some people have Rocksies at 2, but let me just explain what these guys do basically. So if they all pretty much have the same effect, that if they're used for a link or a fusion summon and are sent to the graveyard because of that, they trigger their effect and then they can special summon a different prank kid from the deck. So Dropsies, if he's used as a link or a fusion, you gain 1000 life points and then you can bring out another prank kid. Lampsies, pretty much the exact same, but rather than you gaining 1000 life points, you burn your opponent for 500. Fansies, what he does is you need to send a prank kid's card from your deck to the graveyard and then you can special summon another prank kid. And Rocksies, you need to banish a card face up from your hand and then draw a card to bring out another prank kid. So they're all pretty much the same sort of principle behind it. You really just want to bring out another prank kid so you can go into your bigger link plays, and you can also use them for fusions, which will trigger off more than one at once, which is very good. Kind of going into the hand traps now. I play one of the Dinowrestler Pankratops. He's very good to get another body on the board. He's very powerful and good effect. I play 2 copies of Nibiru. I also play 2 copies of Ash Blossom and 2 copies of Ghost Belle as well. These are all pretty self-explanatory. It's just good control for to stop your opponent in his tracks. The main thing I think about, if you're building a deck with Nibiru, the token can get really big, so you need to make sure you have a way to get rid of that token. One of her fusions basically works as a Raigeki, so that's a really good way to get rid of that token. And also, we also play Raigeki itself. But yeah, make sure if you're going to use a Nibiru, make sure you have a way to get rid of that big token. Final monster, this is unusual, but I play it, is Archnemeses Eschatos. So all prank kids are different types, so you have no problem bringing this out. And this guy, he's very good. His effect reads as follows. Cannot be normal summoned / set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing 3 monsters with different types from your graveyard and / or face up on the field. Cannot be destroyed by card effects. You can declare 1 monster type on the field, destroy all monsters on the field with that type. Also, until the end of the next turn, neither player can special summon monsters with that type. You can only use the effect of Archnemeses Eschatos once per turn. So he can be a pretty good board breaker, especially if nowadays when decks are all built around with the same type, it can really fuck up a board and really slow down your opponent's tracks. He has no response to it. So that's the last monster that I play in the deck. So I play 7 prank kid specific spells. Play 3 of prank kid's place. That's the field spell, and when it's activated you can search your deck for a prank kid. And it has a different effect depending on if you special summon a prank kid fusion monster or a prank kid link monster. So if you bring out a prank kid fusion monster while this is on the field, you can make all your monsters gain 500 attack. But if you bring out a prank kid link monster while this is on the field, you can make your opponent's monster lose 500 attack. And that stays. It's not something that goes away when you destroy the card. It stays around for the duel, or until the monster is removed. I play 2 of the prank kid fusion card. I play 2 prank kids Pandemonium. The reason why I play this at 2 is because I have a few other ways to get fusions out, and also the problem with this card is when you fuse with that, you're stuck with prank kids monsters for the rest of the turn. You can't go into your Borrelsword, you can't go into your Apollousa, or even if you play Totally Awesome, you can't go into that after you use this card. Finally, I know people mostly play one of these, but I think prank kids pranks is very good to run at 2. It's a continuous spell card. What this basically does is during the end phase, you can shuffle 3 prank kids cards from your graveyard into your deck and draw 1 card. Also, actually, the first effect of it is you can discard a card and special summon a prank kid token, which can be helpful, but I mostly use it for that second effect to shuffle it, sort of recycle your graveyard and draw a card. I think it's very powerful. So I run 2 copies of Polymerization, just to go into those fusions. Another way to bring out a fusion is instant fusion. Your prank kids fusions, there's 2 of them that are level 5, Rocket Ride and Weather Washer. So if you just want an extra body on the field, or you want to just use their effect, which can be really handy, instant fusion is good for them. And also, I see a few people play this, but not a lot. Thunder Dragon Fusion. The main fusion boss monster is a Thunder. So you can fusion him out by using fusion materials from the field, the graveyard, and face up banished, which I think is just a really good, really good easy way to get into your big guy. Alright, last 5 here. These are standard staples. Call by the Grave, we don't want to get interrupted. Raigeki, goes without saying, destroy all monster your opponent controls. Also, it's a good way to get rid of that big token if we Nibiru our opponent. Harpie's Feather Duster and Cosmic Cyclone for spell and trap card removal. And the one which should be played in every deck, Monster Reborn. Bring back a monster from the graveyard. No restrictions, just a really good card. I play 4 traps in this deck. Not very popular to play too many traps, unless if it's infinite impermanence, but I think these are really good. I play 2 There Can Only Be One, and I play 2 Lost Wind. Reason for There Can Only Be One is because all the prank kids are different types. A few of them have the same type, but you really don't run into that issue too often. So you can really fuck up your opponent by using There Can Only Be One, which really slows them down. They'll need a way to out the card, which I think is just a really good way to slow down your opponent. Lost Wind, I think, is really good. I find that with prank kids, there's a lot of ways to destroy your opponent's monsters, or there's a way to destroy your opponent's spell and trap cards, but there's no real way to like negate your opponent's monster's effects. So I find Lost Wind to be very good for this. I think Lost Wind's just a really good card overall. That's why I just play it in this deck, just to make it good if we're going up against the likes of Dark Law. We really don't want to banish our prank kids. It could be a bit situational, but Lost Wind seems to be the kind of card that you can use in any deck, and I think it fits well in this deck here. Alright, going into the extra deck now, I play 3 prank kids Meow-Meow-Mu. I know, I shot this before the ban list, so I know Meow-Meow-Mu is no longer a tree, he's limited to 1. So here's just a few suggestions that I have instead. I say one route you can go down, maybe if you want to up how many fusion cards you run, you can always double up on the little fusions on Weather Washer and Rocket Ride. It's just an idea. I don't exactly think it's the best route. What I'll probably do instead is I'd probably throw in IP Masquerena. Now, she's getting a reprint in El Dorado, so the price for her is going to go down. But the fact that you can link summon during your opponent's turn just means you can get the prank kid effects during your opponent's turn, which I think is very, very good. That's one beneficial way I'm going to get around this bullshit of Meow-Meow-Mu being limited. Something else I'd suggest, since I don't run Totally Awesome in this deck, you guys might, so maybe if you throw in Totally Awesome, if you don't run like I do, it's just an idea. I don't think it's the best route. I think Totally Awesome might be a bit situational. But yeah, he is another suggestion. Finally, the one I think I'll probably go down, but I'm really not sure. I'm just editing this now, and I haven't even edited my prank kid deck since the ban list, is probably Linkuriboh. I throw Linkuriboh in a lot of decks because he's just really good, and we run 3 level 1s with the way we have Fansies. He's a level 1, and you know what? Also, I seen with Pax build, the one that won him the YTS, I think it was, he runs 3 effect veilers. I know I don't, but if you do, that just further solidifies Linkuriboh's use in this situation. I really don't know, to be honest, but there's just a few ideas. Sorry for being so late with this video. I've been very, very busy. That's why Sean's been carrying the entire channel, but hey, I'm back now, so let's just fucking go ahead and I'll finish this video. He's the Link 1. Since Phantom Rage, this is what really made Prank Kids get a boost in popularity and consistency. What Meow-Meow does is, if one of your Prank Kids wants to activate their effect and tribute itself during your opponent's turn, you can actually banish this card from the graveyard instead. So our boss monster, Battle Butler, when he tributes himself, he basically Raigekis. So if you do that on your opponent's turn, you can banish Meow-Meow from the graveyard instead, so you don't lose your boss monster. I play 2 Prank Kids Dodo-Doodle-Doo. I'd like to play 3, but I just don't have 3. What this is, it's a Link 2. When he's brought out, you can search your deck for a Prank Kids spell or trap card. Also, you can tribute him and target 2 Prank Kids in your graveyard and add them to your hand, except Link monsters, of course. I played 2 of the Prank Kids Bow Wow Bark. I would rather play an extra Dodo-Doodle-Doo rather than the 2 Bow Wow Barks. It's still good to have the 1 Bow Wow Bark in there though, because if he's pointing at a Prank Kid, that Prank Kid gains 1000 attack. Also, he has a secondary effect where you can tribute yourself and then you can add Prank Kids to your hand. Then we have the boss Link, we'll call him. This is Prank Kids Rip-Roarin-Roaster. He's a Link 4, he's got 3000 attack, and also he can tribute himself to basically Harpie's Feather Duster your opponent's board. Next up, I play 2 of the Prank Kids Battle Butler. Although he needs the 3 specific Prank Kids to bring him out, I think it's well worth it. I run a lot of fusion cards to bring him out. Also, that Thunder Dragon fusion card is the main reason we play 2 of this guy. He can tribute himself to Raigeki, your opponent's board, and this really works well with Meow-Meow-Mu. If we're doing it on your opponent's turn, he doesn't even need to tribute himself. Just banish Meow-Meow from the graveyard instead, and then you're set. The other 2 fusions, we got Prank Kids Rocket Ride and Prank Kids Weather Washer. They're both level 5, so you can basically bring these guys out and using instant fusion and use their effects from there. However, Rocket Ride's really good for chain blocking, because when he's brought out, you can make his attack be cut in half, and then he can then attack directly. So you have this big long chain and you don't want to get Ash Blossoms or Ghost Spell or anything like that. Just have Rocket Ride's effect go off at the end, and then you automatically just chain block your opponent from fucking up your combo. He can also tribute himself to special summon out 2 Prank Kids from the graveyard, although they can attack this turn, which is pretty good. Weather Washer is fairly similar. However, when the 2 Prank Kids are brought out from the graveyard using Weather Washer's effect, they can't be destroyed by battle. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the Prank Kids that are in the extra deck. Going into 3 more cards now. 2 links, Borrelsword Dragon and Apollousa. These are just really good. Borrelsword Dragon can really win you games. He's a 3000 beater. He can attack twice if you switch a monster to defense mode during the battle phase. And Apollousa is really good because you can swarm the field with Prank Kids a lot. So you can bring out Apollousa using 4 link materials, put her up to 3200 and basically get 4 negates during your opponent's turn. Finally, you're probably expecting Totally Awesome, but I don't play Totally Awesome. I actually play number 60 Dugaris, the Timeless, in this deck. So the reason for that is basically with Totally Awesome, you only have Dropsies to make him. Granted, with number 60, you only have Rocksies to make him too. But the thing when you're using Dropsies, it's 2 materials, and also to get the full effect of Totally Awesome, you also need another Dropsies on the field so Totally Awesome can tribute him to negate. Number 60 has 3 different effects, which is really good. The first being you can detach 2 materials, and then you can draw 2 cards and discard 1. Although you don't draw during your next draw phase, this can get you to the cards you want quicker, so you can win on the turn you activate it. Also, it's another effect it has is by detaching 2 materials, you can target 1 monster you control and you can double its attack this battle phase. Although you missed out on your next battle phase, usually if you're activating that effect, you're planning on winning that turn. Also, another effect, which we'll probably never use, by attaching 2 materials, you can special summon one monster from the graveyard. Although you skip your next main phase 1, let's be honest, we're not going to be using that one. We mostly want to use this to get into drawing cards, or we want to double the attack of one of our bigger monsters. So that's my reason for using number 62 cards. But if you want to play Totally Awesome, that's fine. This is just how I play it, and this really works for me. If you want to try it, you should definitely give it a go. So that's my profile for my prankkids deck. Overall, I think prankkids are very good. They're really consistent right now. They're definitely a really good contender against the meta like Tri-Brigade and Drytron. They're very universal. I like decks that you can really play around with them in the sense that not only can they play control, they can also be very aggressive and OTK at some points too. So that's why I think prankkids is very great, very universal, and very good for this format.